All right, guys, I'm Nicolette, and today we are here with Felicity Buddig. She is the owner and creator of She Is You magazine. She is also a high performance women's empowerment coach. She is an author. She does all kinds of things. So she is here to talk to us today about three big ideas. And we are going to narrow down these big ideas into mental health, difficult decisions, and unconditional love because they are really important. We're going to try and tackle them all at once. So, Felicity, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate your time today.
Thank you for having me and inviting me. And these topics are good. So I'm looking forward to diving deep and exploring all of this. I think it's important for us as women and mothers and, caregivers.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey, your motherhood journey?
Oh, yeah.
I know, right? Do we have enough
Okay.
time?
Do we have it? So everybody grab a drink. No. My journey, it's been amazing. It's been one of the most challenging journeys that I can imagine, but it's brought me to this place. I am a mother to this beautiful 14-year-old. I don't know if we can see him, this 14-year-old boy behind me that is away in boarding school. And it's him and I come from just a really goofy growing up type of family, narcissistic, toxic family that kind of rolled right into an abusive marriage. And I managed to get out and transform my life and create the She Is You magazine. And I've been coaching and as a Reiki practitioner for probably well over a decade. I've been doing transformational coaching for women since I received my Reiki certification, just because that helped me realize that, as women, as people, we hold the power to change our lives. And just doing my thing. Just co-authored a book with a group of women on, from, that survivor mode that we can kind of play that victim, kind of pulling ourselves out of that and going into that thriving mode and being a powerhouse in whatever we do in life, to my memoir that should be expected to drop and be published later this year. So yeah, we're busy. Yeah.
Oh, can you tell me a little bit more about She Is You Mag? I mean, what is the mission there? I know you're working with all these women, and you're probably coming up with some pretty common themes that you're seeing as you're working with women. And how is the magazine kind of maybe documenting that in a way?
Yeah, that's a good question, hon. So we are dedicated to midlife women, women in our 40s and 50s. And we focus on the four pillars: spirituality, health and wellness, career, and relationship. These are the pillars that I see most reflected, like areas that always need to be tweaked in my clients' lives, in my lives, my sisters, my friends, just everything. And as we evolve as women and we go through, whether whatever season of womanhood that we're in, there always seems to be something that's changing or evolving in any of those areas. I absolutely love it. We drop articles once a month, and they drop on Sundays because I'm like, okay, what, as women, like in my mindset, Sunday's my day to grab my coffee and flip. Exactly. So,
Hmm.
and I really want to empower and inspire and keep people moving on their journey as well too. So that's where that magazine was born. It's my baby. It's my second baby, maybe my third or fourth. Yes. But like I hold that here because it has been a brain baby since I was married, first married to my ex-husband. It was just like that. I wanted to start this online community of women. I didn't have
Hmm.
anything to turn to when I was starting to transform my life. I'm
Right,
assuming they were out there. I just didn't know. So
right.
yeah.
So, you mentioned focusing on you mentioned that kind of transition, right? In the book that you've co-authored with these other women, and not having anywhere to turn to. There's a common theme here, right? I swear I'm tying it together into the mental health. So my question is, you're talking to all these women, which I'm sure many of them are mothers, just like yourself. I mean, some are probably not. Go you. And some days I wish that was me, but some of them, but a lot of them probably are. And I was wondering if you're seeing any like where is the lack in mental health awareness amongst mothers?
Oh, such a good question. I think the lack, which I think is starting to go away, which is
Oh,
important.
that's good.
I think we have been conditioned and groomed and trained over the generations to put that smile on your face,
Hmm.
to make yourself look put together. And in the inside, we may not be. And I
Hmm.
think as we've evolved as a society, as a being that is breaking away, and our awareness, our mental health awareness, our self awareness is coming to the forefront, especially over the past couple of years. And I think it's becoming more acceptable. And that's part of my platform too, is making it more acceptable. I'm a PTSD, I've got anxiety, that it's okay to struggle, that it's okay to
Right.
not have a good day, that it's okay if your hair is not done or your makeup's not done or your house is not clean, or if you're just going to phone in dinner. It's okay. These unrealistic expectations that we've put on ourselves, it's killing us. It
Hmm.
is. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. We're actually going to be doing an episode about for St. Patrick's Day. Um, we're going to focus on, why do mothers feel the need to make every little holiday so special? I mean, it's St. Patrick's Day, right? Like, look at all the pressure. Something as simple as that, right? How crazy. I mean, and then you've got leprechaun traps, and then, and the green bagels and the green leprechaun crap all over the house. Like, come on. I can't even manage to get my son's crap ready for school, like most mornings they wake up and I'm like, "Oh, didn't wash your mask," like, let's
Yes.
something out, and it's hard. And then, but you know what? There are days where I can, this today happens to be Valentine's Day. We are recording on Valentine's Day. And I was able to, cut the toast into a shape of a heart, like something simple, I don't have to put all
Mhm.
this on myself. I just, you
Yeah.
know, making breakfast anyway, right? I mean, it doesn't
Hmm.
need all of that is what I'm learning. Like the heart was like, "Oh, mom, my toast is a heart." I'm like, "Yeah, look at that." I mean, that's it. It was
Yeah.
cool.
Yep.
So crazy, but we put all this pressure on ourselves. Do you think that we're putting more pressure on ourselves than society is even putting on us?
Um, that's another good word. I still think I still think
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
I think it's social media driven. I see TikTok.
Ah, you're right. You're right.
I
You're right.
do. I do. I
You're
see
right.
these I just see these, the clean TikTok or the organizational hack TikTok. And I look at
Mhm.
these refrigerators and I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God, don't even dare look in my refrigerator. Or let's normalize the normal house. I mean,
Right.
it's awesome to see these beautiful homes that these people are living in, but what about the average home?
Right.
It's okay.
Right.
I mean, just yeah. So, and
Right.
it's
You're
okay.
right.
Yeah,
I forget
yeah.
about things like that sometimes because, I think it also might depend on the kind of person you are. If you happen to just be a very self-critical person as it is, and
Yes.
forget all that other stuff. You could be your own worst enemy. Forget social media, forget other people, forget society. You're even harsher than everyone else.
Yes, yes. That's a whole other subject. I mean, we can become our worst critic. And when you go down those rabbit holes of analyzing and repeating, it's almost like your trauma brain. And I mean, that's a habit that has to be broken. And
Hmm.
that's where that self-awareness comes into when you can recognize that you're going down that rabbit hole. Like, oh my God, I
Hmm.
didn't cut his toast. Oh my God, I did not cut his
Yes.
toast in the
Yes.
shape of a heart. I'm the worst mom ever. And then
Uh-huh.
we overcompensate. Yeah, we go hit Target, the dollar bin. Let's load up everything for, yes, yes, for Valentine's Day. Let's spend another $50 to make our kid feel special. When,
Hmm.
yeah, yes, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
I even get like that when I work so much, if and really I don't, but in my mind I'm like, well, on a break or Christmas break, I needed to work. So you got to go, kid. You can't stay home and you got to, go to grandma's or whatever. You better be watching TV for an hour while I do this, call. And then I feel guilty. And then I'm like, let's go to Target. Like that's like he doesn't. I mean, realistically, he doesn't even want to leave the house. If I just laid there in bed with him and played something in bed and gave him that undivided, then that's
Yeah.
really all he wants. I, he doesn't really need Target. I mean, he'll take it. Don't get me wrong. If we're
Yeah.
going, he's like, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
he really doesn't want it. It's never his idea, that's for sure. Like, let's go to Target and buy things we don't need, mom. Never his idea.
Yes. But we do it anyways.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
right. And we
Mm-hmm.
neglect our mental health so much trying to do all these other things. And that was kind of the next thing I wanted to talk about. Like, how are women, I mean, what are we not doing that we should be doing for daily upkeep? Now that we're having these conversations more, we are a little bit more aware. It's becoming a little bit more acceptable to talk about mental health and mom not being perfect. Like, are we taking the steps necessary, or are we still just neglecting it, even though we know about it now?
I hope we're taking this. I think information's out there. It's just whether or not you're ready to seek it and you want the help. The most important thing is that we may not be listening to our bodies, the tightness in their chest, the fatigue, the water retention, the short-tempered spaciness, all that kind of contributes to, and I could really go out there with being a Reiki practitioner to, our chakras and not being
Mhm.
aligned and being blocked, and how important it is to learn to listen to our bodies and what it's telling us and what we can do to get in tune with what our body is saying. And I mean, overall, once we make that into a habit as well, too, I mean, we become a better friend, a better mother, a better spouse. And it really just goes down to self-care and how we always put ourselves last.
What do you think? I mean, if you
Yeah.
could suggest one thing someone could start with, right? What would you say for someone to do?
And I feel like I'm beating a dead horse because my clients are like, if you tell me to meditate one more time, I'm going to scream. And I'm like, you just don't understand. If you could just get quiet, throw on
Mhm.
some headphones, some AirPods, throw on some soft music from YouTube. YouTube is so inexpensive. You don't have to download the
Mhm.
Calm app or pay for anything.
Mhm.
And just listen to your breath, because your mind is going to go all over because we have
Mhm.
that 10 ahead. But just,
Mhm.
you're going to tell yourself, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in. That's all you're going to repeat. And you're going to feel that movement. You're going to feel that. And it's okay to cry. And it's okay to be like, wow, I really am like exhausted.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, maybe I'm going to be that person now. Meditate. Oh my goodness. I can barely sit down for a minute, but okay. All right. I'm lying. I'm lying. And here's where you're going to kill me. So I've started to implement since about November. So we're talking like, what, 3 months now. At the end of the day, I sneak away into the bathtub.
Yes.
Now, wait, instead of actually taking that time for myself, I'm like playing solitaire. And it's not like in a way that really I'm not sitting, right? I'm always, or like I'm working on the phone, or like whatever it is, I'm on the phone in the
Yeah.
bath. I'm doing
Yeah.
all these other things instead of actually taking the time that I've now carved out for myself to do anything that I really want to do, or what I should be doing for my own health.
Yeah, no, I understand. And I think, if you enjoy solitaire, I play solitaire on my phone in my bathtub too.
Do
By the way,
you?
I do. I live in my bathtub. And seriously, like that, because I'm connected to water. So water for me is cleansing.
Mhm.
Yeah. So especially in the wintertime in Chicago, like I am in my bathtub. Yeah,
Mhm.
but I mean, solitaire can be a form. I think what we're doing is we're just kind of zoning out. And it's
Yes.
almost like that disassociation.
Mhm.
Solitaire is just that,
Mhm.
it's, yeah.
I
Um,
do that. Actually, my husband just asked me the other day. He's like, and he's we try not to be on our phones so much,
mhm.
but we find ourselves always on our phones. And so, and we notice the difference with our son when we're not on our phone so much, right? So when we're giving him, even when I'm just laying with him before bed, if he's watching something and I'm just sitting next to him on my phone, I notice a total different dynamic than if I actually put the damn phone down, right? I mean, it's ridiculous when you think about it after the fact, but he said, why are you playing that solitaire so much? And like sometimes I just feel so overwhelmed that like, I'm not even thinking about it. I'm just like, I need to escape. Like, I just need to do
Yes, it's
something and turn it
escapism. Yeah,
off.
yeah.
And so, unfortunately, it looks like I'm just on my phone, right? Because it is on the phone, but it's not for that reason. I find that I become there's just too much. There's too much.
So I would recommend coming up with limits. And the only
Mm,
reason why is, what do children want?
mm,
And we just had, like, we are talking about the whole Target. They
right,
don't want that.
right,
They just want us.
right.
Fully present us. And if you could just give your son, if I could just give my son, if she could just get whoever else,
Right.
just give our children to be fully present in the moment, 30 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, whatever it is. I'm telling you, it's you're going to shift the relationship. That's all they want. But
Mhm,
that's where the journaling, the meditation,
mhm,
chiseling out some time for you to just, you got to disconnect from that. Yeah. And
right,
I get it completely, because I've got my hands in everything. So I
right.
can legitimately just like sit in my office 24/7.
Mhm.
And yeah,
I
but that
could.
challenge to be present. And when we're fully present in our relationships, there's a lot of growth. Yeah, that
It
happens.
makes me wonder then, if that time in the tub should be spent kind of just laying there and sitting. When do I ever give myself that opportunity to just sit? I mean, we talked about comparing ourselves to, social media and, how that could be linked to our phones, but what do you think? I mean, what is it doing to us as women, as mothers, to have that phone in our hand all the time?
It's pulling us away from being present in those important relationships that we have, which is with our significant others,
Yeah.
our children, our friends. It
True.
it just pulls us away. Yeah,
It's
and
so
yeah,
true.
and it's just establishing healthy boundaries and guidelines. Which then, when your son gets a phone,
Mhm.
I mean, they emulate us.
Right.
I will tell you, Nicolette, when your child is glued to the phone, you will see that. Because I saw that,
Mhm.
how my unhealthy electronics habit, and my son, who could not pull away to look me in the eye. And
Mhm.
that's when we had an issue,
Right.
and especially during the pandemic. I mean, what do these kids do? They're
Mhm.
at home, they're on a screen, e-learning. The only type of socialization they had was through Fortnite, or he plays NBA 2K, or he was. We pulled all electronics in our home. Um, so he was almost, it was nonstop screen
Right.
time. And what is that? It's just that overstimulation, overstimulation, overstimulation.
Mhm.
Where, yeah.
It's so sad that we have these great things that have an opportunity to, really help us, and then we just manage to overdo everything. We do as a
Mm-hmm.
society. But, we're talking about big ideas, right? And these 3 big themes and, mental health, which is super, super important for mothers, and, um, it needs more attention, and we need to keep talking about it, which is why I even wanted to bring it up here to start us off with. But, the second big idea was about, making difficult decisions. And
Yes.
so it's crazy because to me, sometimes saying no to my son is a difficult decision. Like, sometimes it's a decision like I've decided I probably am not gonna have any more children, and 1 is enough.
Mm-hmm.
But those are big decisions, and you really, but there are even bigger ones, and, like, this is just the beginning. My son's only 7, we have a lifetime of really big, difficult decisions, and, I was wondering if you could weigh in on that.
It is a good one, because it does start with no. Oh my
Mm,
goodness, I'm going to tell them no.
mm,
Um, and if that's the worst that it gets for you, God bless you, because there
mhm,
are moms and dads out there that have to make those difficult health decisions
health
for their
decision.
child that is not well, and they have to make those decisions on what do you do next when the insurance is running up, or there's a financial, yeah, God bless those babies that are sick, where these kids are,
Mhm.
you know how much money that costs. You
Right.
just, yeah. um I think difficult decisions, and just put yourself into, an entrepreneur, put yourself in the mindset of just wanting to go up that success ladder. Difficult decisions make us stronger. They help, leverage ourselves. It's almost
Mhm.
like a strategy. That's kind of the way I look at it. I don't have a problem telling my son no, because I know in the long run, it's just going to grow him into a better adult.
Mhm.
When we tell our children no, or when we make those difficult decisions, it's just, you're going to be told no by many people,
It's
whether
true.
it's your boss or a coworker, or,
Mhm.
I mean, life isn't perfect.
Right.
So that's kind of like the aspect that I go with. And I always tell that to my son too. I'm like, look, you're going to get fired from a job. You're going to be told you suck. And guess what? That's okay, because it makes us better.
Right.
Yes, it's that entitlement, everybody gets a freaking trophy
Oh, I
generation.
hate that. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
well,
just
that's what we're dealing with now in the workforce. And I see that with my stepchildren. I absolutely love them, but I see that, what? I'm not good at this? Oh my goodness. And I'm like, oh my, wow. Okay. So this
Mhm.
is a lesson that should have been taught when you were this big, not when you're 30.
Right.
But let me, yeah, exactly. But I do. I think, as I can't imagine making, and I've had to make some difficult decisions as a parent. Um, and out of respect for just, my son's privacy, I won't go into that. But I've had to make some really difficult decisions that have altered the landscape of my life for the rest of my life
Right.
because of it. But I know in the long run,
Mhm.
I not only broke generational bonds and expectations, I have given him, gifts of healing and growth that
Mhm.
I wish I would have been given, or my mom or dad would have given to me.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, we
And
do tough things. I think, yeah.
sometimes the simplest thing, I mean, and like you said, God bless those families of those sick children,
Yeah.
I mean, to have to make decisions like that, I can't even imagine, and I count my blessings, and I am forever grateful. But we sometimes forget that the everyday decisions, and they're also, like I often say, well, my problems aren't as bad, like I'm not that important in the grand scheme, right? Or like this is not that big of a deal compared to so and so who's got all of these problems. And I feel guilty sometimes feeling bad or feeling that this is such a big deal to me. Like who am I to feel like this is a big deal? Like look what they've got to deal with, right? And I think a lot of us kind of lose ourselves in the cracks thinking like our stuff isn't really that important, because or not that big of a deal or doesn't impact us, as much. And so I wanted to just bring that up because, I feel like you, I look at those things and I think they're so, I mean, they are bigger, but to me, my problem is still my problem, right? And,
Hmm.
like, that's still it feels the way it feels to me, and, sometimes I don't even know how to make the decision, like, "Hey, Michael wants to stay out until 7 with his friends next door, but I know we should be having family dinner, but, like, I should have a routine there, right? But at
Yeah.
the same time, if he stays there, then I can get an extra hour of work in before my husband gets home, and maybe I could even empty the dishwasher, and I'm, like, torn between what I know I should do, what I know is right, but, like, all these other things that I can do, and so I won't say no to him and, like, "Oh, but, he's having so much fun. I'll just do that," and, like, why? Why? Why is it so hard sometimes to make why does that become a difficult decision?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Out of
Yeah.
ease. Yes. 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 And one thing that I've been taught the hard way lesson is that these boys would love to hear other moms on this. These boys, They need structure and they need expectation.
Mhm.
So, and that was me too. Oh, sure, go stay a little bit longer.
Mhm.
I can get a few more things done. I can do
Mhm.
this. I can do that. And um, is it wrong? I don't know.
Um,
I'm not judging.
yeah.
It's not my place to judge.
Mhm.
We do what we have to do. It's
Right.
almost like that. We're like stuck in like, I don't want to say that survivor mode, but it's just,
Mhm.
we're constantly treading water.
Right.
And, there's something special around that supper time, dinner time, whatever you
There
call
is.
it.
And I had that growing up, which is
Yeah.
why it's even more difficult for me. I'm always constantly torn. And then he'll say to me, like, why do I have to come home on a regular day? No dinner involved. Why do I have to come home at this time? I don't even have a response. I don't know because I said so. Like, and then I think about it, like, what is my reason? I have no idea. I don't know because that's just the answer. I don't know
This is it.
why.
Yes. This is what we do things in our home. Yes. This is how our family functions.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
I don't know because
Yes, yeah. Yeah, they're smart. I tell you, they're smart, and they come into our world to push our boundary every day, and that's what's
Mhm,
happening, Nicola. Our boundary is pushed every day, and it's
mhm,
our job to teach them in a compassionate way. Compassion in parenting is one thing that I'm learning about. I was not raised to be compassionate. I was not raised in a unconditional love family. I was not raised so I am still learning what compassionate parenting looks like, and being vulnerable, and um yeah, this is the way we do things, buddy. It's bath time and bedtime and book time. I love you. I want to see you. So this is it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good
Yeah.
one. I should try that one,
Yeah.
actually. I love you. I wanna see you.
Yes. It's our time. It's
That's
our
a good
time. And
one.
at 7, oh my goodness, you can pop in any fun Disney show and
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
kind of curl up on the sofa or in bed, and oh, oh, my heart. I miss those days. I miss those days.
I also struggle with saying no to him when he wants to, you know, when he does wanna be with us, which is he does. He does wanna be with us, but he wants us to play. And he's 7 and we're kind of torn here because it's like, all right, we can still play, but we're not playing. And he comes up with like, we should play zombies and we should all get Nerf guns with no bullets and we should hunt the zombies all around the house and shut off all the lights. And okay, but it's like 7:30 and I don't really want to do this at 7:30 at night. Like, can we
Mhm.
do something else? And he wants to play. And do you know it's actually hard for me to say no to playing, like, what he wants to play, and my husband's like, "I'm not playing that, it's 8 o'clock. I just worked all day, like, I'm not hunting zombies around the house tonight on a weekday, it's not happening," and he has no problem kinda just like, "No, that's not happening." I'm like, "Well, what if we did it for 10 minutes and then we just, transitioned into something else?" Like, why can't I just say no? And that's where I really you just actually made me think of a whole new episode that I wanna
Mhm. Yeah.
entitled, "Why Can't I Just Say No?"
Uh, is it? Can you? Well, are you assertive enough in you, because you do seem strong. Like you can say no in other areas of your life.
Everywhere else,
You
but
can.
when it
Yeah, I
comes to
feel you
this
can.
kid,
Yeah.
oof, he
But
is
maybe it's because maybe you're not trying to say no, but maybe it's like, hey, buddy, what a great idea. Let's do that this weekend. But we've got school tomorrow. You're not necessarily saying no, and
right, right.
you're reassuring him on what a cool idea that is.
Mhm,
And so he's being heard, because I will
mhm,
tell you, one of the things that I, through my parenting world, is I was like, oh my goodness, I would be the same way. Like, I've got to work. I just put in a 14-hour shift in the
mhm,
veterinary industry. Like, are you kidding? I'm exhausted. I got to make lunch for tomorrow. And
mhm,
no, no, it's bedtime. That's the,
mhm,
yes. Yeah. They're not being heard. So
right.
what a great idea, buddy. Yeah. Let's this weekend. Yeah. Which I do think the imagination, that is a pretty cool idea. I mean, when I would make these little ghosts, like out of just, computer paper,
Mhm,
on like rainy days or winter days in Chicago. And I'd make them all, I'm an artist and I would just tape them all over the house when Dougie was little. And with Nerf guns. He would have to go through and he'd put on his little Ghostbuster outfit. And I'm like, okay, buddy,
Oh,
you
what
gotta.
a cool idea.
Yeah, I mean, that's where my brain goes. Yeah. So I do think like, and that fostering that creativity in a child is so important because like mainstream school, like it's going to kill it. It's going to kill it, you know? Yeah.
Please, my son's art teacher apparently is like evil. I'm like, what are you talking about? Art is supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
You're 7. Like, you're supposed to have fun.
Yeah.
Like, no, no, she wants everything perfect. I was like, oh God, what do you
That's,
mean?
oh, that's not art.
That's the only class he gets yelled at in is art.
Mm.
Every other teacher loves him, but art is the problem.
You know, there's some really good books I've read, and I'll have to circle back because that's another good topic for a show is how we are breaking boys down. Boys
Ooh.
are meant to be messy. Boys are meant to fidget. Boys are meant to just be all over the
Mhm,
place. And mainstream, once again, their expectation, because my boy is all over, you know,
mhm.
is you are to be like a girl. You are to not be like a girl, but like girls.
But
We
yes, I
sit, we
understand. We are a
listen,
little
we're
calmer. We are.
pleasers. Yeah, boys are just, they need movement. They need all of that. Their eyes are going to be all that is the boy brain.
Mhm,
And we beat it out of them in mainstream school through this is that, this he's not listening. And
mhm.
and it's I'm telling you, there's a few good books. I can't think of them off the top of my head that I've had to read, and with a great pediatrician in my world to reaffirm this is the boy brain and this is what's happening in our world. Yeah, boy.
And I
Yeah.
think that's gonna be a great segue into our last topic on unconditional love, because what I mentioned to you when we spoke the other day was, I really believe that these children, especially in my case, my son is here to teach me something because
Hmm.
I was that typical girl. I sat nicely. I sat with my hands folded. I read. I was proper. I was polite. I would, cross my legs, and I just sat there and I did whatever you told me to do. If you were in some position of authority, I was not going to. And my son is just dirty and messy, and he's up and he's down and he's climbing and he's tumbling and he's breaking things and throwing things, and not out of meanness, just because he is. And he's just everywhere. He's everywhere and he doesn't stop. And I swear he has gotten me to come out of my shell and see things so differently. I don't love all of it, but he has taught me so much about, like, there is such beauty in a stick and dirt. Like, I don't know. I didn't know that. I don't do dirt. I don't do outdoors. I do the beach, and that's
Yeah.
about the extent of my outdoorsiness. And and God, whatever you believe, I believe in God. God gave me this
Hmm.
child that was so very different than me. So, and he's teaching me so much. And I think what he's taught me most about is that unconditional love, like you brought up the other day. I mean, it's wild. Gosh.
I agree. It totally is to wrap your head around that you could selflessly love something so much.
Mm.
Yes, to sacrifice your life to just, it's pretty amazing.
I mean, I didn't even I used to think my dad always used to tell me, "You're so selfish and self-involved." And I was like, "I am not. I care about other people." And I cared to an extent, and but I really just cared about Nicolette. Nicolette was number one priority,
Yeah.
and there was nothing getting. And I didn't realize how true that was until I felt what it was like to actually say, like, my life, it's really not that much, but it's not, it doesn't matter. I mean, it matters, but it doesn't matter. Like, I will jump in front of that bus for you, like, with
Hmm.
that's, I will not sleep, and I will,
Hmm.
I would do anything to take your pain away.
Hmm.
I will take it, give it to me. I don't care, and I, I think I realized the power of that love on my son's first birthday, because birthdays for me were just, that is my day. I wear a crown. I still wear my crown, but I you know, And I realized that year that he was born that I wasn't so excited about my birthday. I was excited about his birthday.
Yes.
I was not, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm super, and I
Mm-hmm.
still get that way. Like how his face when he opens this present and when we go here and, this, when he wakes up in the morning and just, that my birthday didn't seem that important anymore. It's
Yep.
a whole new life.
Yep. It is. Yes. Embrace it. Embrace it. As
Yeah.
challenging as it can be, as exhausted as we are, what we miss what it was like to be single or just have the
Mm.
freedom to do whatever.
Mm.
These little beings have come into our world for a specific reason. Yeah. And our job is to keep, that unconditional love.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's really like, no matter what he does, nothing is ever gonna I'm never gonna stop loving you. Like, just because I don't like something you do,
Yeah.
like, it doesn't matter, but I might find myself like, I'm kind of also that mother who would just I don't wanna be that mom who will, like, never and I don't do this, but, that mother who thinks that their child does no wrong. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you still
Yeah.
do things wrong. Doesn't mean that I love you any less, and I get it, but, like, I will never be that parent. Just recently, a mother came up to me and said, told me something that my son did. And I was like, yeah, I believe that. Like, yep, sounds like my child. I'm not going to. There are a lot of parents who think that that's the way, to whatever, to protect them, to love them. And,
Yeah.
it's
I,
not,
I yeah.
it's not
I had
helping.
an incident when my son was in fourth grade. We had moved to a community in the suburbs of Chicago, and some pretty white collar. And he was new to school, and they were on a group text message, and he had shared a cool video of a rapper. And my son has older, like in their 20s, cousins. So he's been exposed to, like, when my nephew would babysit him. Like, oh, what'd you guys do today? We watched Ted. I'm like, okay, Doug is only 7. He can't watch
Mm-hmm.
Ted,
Mm-hmm.
so it's just like, so Dougie's been exposed to some of that. And I was in this meeting with these 7 moms, and that's exactly what they were trying to do. Yes, your child is the problem. Your
Mm-hmm.
child is this or that. And it's, it's the judging and
Mm-hmm.
these unrealistic expectations. And um, you can't do that, because we're all guilty of it. And, I humbly apologized and openly
Mm-hmm.
admitted that I think this is, as a digital era mom, we were all new to this.
Mm-hmm.
But you will not single out my child and
Mm-hmm.
make him feel like he is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as Mama Bear comes out,
Right.
because yes,
And
that
that's
is not the case. We are all learning. They are all
Mhm.
learning. Yeah.
That's a good point, though. At the same time, all right, something was done that was wrong, but at the same time, like, that's still my child. Like, he's 7, right? I mean, like,
Yeah.
he's 7, and that's and I think it's really important to find other mothers. I just had a thought. It's really important to find other mothers who understand you, and I mean, really,
Mhm.
that's also the purpose of this show. But to have those moms, I have a few moms that I could see the most outrageous shit. My son's an asshole. They're
Yeah.
like, mine too,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
okay. And that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, you need someone, at least one person in your life that you can do that with.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's so important to make you feel like you're not crazy, you're not alone, you know, um, and that's the problem when there's all that judgmental stuff. Like, it doesn't, then you're just like worried, right? Like, oh my gosh, don't do that again. And I feel worried actually about this incident. I'm like, I know everybody was super nice about it, and but I know I'm thinking, oh my gosh, they think my son is this and he's that, and oh my, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I go there,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, Michael, listen, don't do this today. Remember, like, he's like, all right, mom, like, I don't
They're
know. This is
they're
such a
gonna be
hard
impulsive. It's
Mhm.
their kids. Their brain. They're gonna. It's. I don't think they. And I'm not a doctor, but I don't think the brain is developed where they, the cause and the effect, the
Right.
action and stuff like that. That's why they're so impulsive.
Mhm.
You know. As long as you address it with him and just say like,
Yeah.
hey, buddy, I heard that, what made you do that? Or why would you consider, or, maybe try this or do this or try saying, and
Yeah.
yeah, I think as moms, we need to embrace and the motherhood and the sisterhood more and stop the judging, and the
Mm.
expectation needs to come down, and you are enough. Whoever you are enough. Whether you can make it to the gym 5 days a week or you can't even get off the sofa because you're
Mhm.
that overwhelmed, you are enough. And that's what we need to do. Yeah.
I like that. I think we should leave moms on that note.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, also, can you please tell us what you've got going on? Because you've got books coming out, you've got a lot of stuff going on. So if you could share that with us.
Yeah. So the magazine is going really well. I recently co-authored the Powerhouse Women Survivor to Thriver with about a group of 9 other women, 10 women maybe. I don't know. I would have to think. My memoir, Pieces of Me, is expected to be published later this year.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm growing this great group of coaches through the She Is You community on Facebook, where these other coaches will coach midlife women.
Mhm.
So coaches in the area of career, relationship, spirituality, health, and wellness. I'm always looking for new writers or contributors to the magazine, and just looking for other like-minded women to shoot the crap with, just like
Mhm.
this. I think we need more collective stuff like this,
Mhm.
you know
Just normalness,
yeah, yeah,
normalcy. Just, like you said, my fridge doesn't look like those refrigerators. So, I think that is the
oh,
best example of what we mean when we say like just the everyday average,
yeah,
run of the mill
yeah,
mom or woman or whatever.
yeah,
Who
I,
cares? Who cares, dude? I went to school pickup in like one sock, one shoe different than the other. Like, who cares?
I
Who cares?
exactly. Yeah, I am on day 2 of hair not being washed, and I've got extensions sewn in because I've got major hair loss due to menopause, and number day 2 of my J. Crew sweater. So this is life. This is life. But on the flip side is we get to have awesome moments like this.
That's right.
Yeah. So I
Well,
appreciate it. Yeah.
I'm going to leave some links for everyone in the description in the show notes so you can learn more about Felicity and what she's working on. And if you are at that point of motherhood and life where you're thinking you're middle aged, I don't think middle age is middle aged anymore, is it? Like,
Oh,
what
no
is
way.
that?
Like these women are rocking it in their 60s. I'm like, oh shit. I got a lot of work to do.
What is
Like,
like what is that age where you consider middle age? Like, what is that? What
so it typically is, and this is really cool because how old are you, Nicolette? You're in your 30s, I thought, right?
33? Yeah.
You're 33. Okay. So middle aged, and we don't, first of all, it's not middle aged anymore. It's midlife.
Midlife. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think a middle age, yeah. So that's where the shift has gone. So it's a midlife women in their 40s. So we're about 43, 44, 45-ish, where basically what's happened, Nicolette, it becomes really awesome. It's like our eyes have opened up to like, what the F have we been doing? Like we have been chasing our tails. And I come from the generation where we are taught and expected to do everything.
Mm.
Everything. And COVID and the pandemic has opened our eyes to like, I'm not going back into the office. I'm working from home, you know? So it is. And it's just about redefining who we are as women, because what expectations we had in our 20s
Mm.
shift into our 30s, shift into our 40s, and in our
Mhm.
50s. And it's just amazing to see. And I love to see women just embrace who they really are. And and not have those unrealistic expectations. It's rocking, and I hope we see more of that, and I hope social media goes to more of that and pulls away from the filters. I mean, my photographer uses filters, but I don't use filters. I mean, my face is crooked, my hair's falling out. It is what it is, you know. I don't
I
care.
do have to give a shout out to one woman. So my mother is, what is she, 58 or 9, 58 maybe? She looks amazing. She's at the gym 5 days a week. No, 7 days a week.
Oh my God.
She's insane. She's insane. 7 days a week, she's at that gym. She is Last Sunday, I called my parents. I was having a meltdown and I called them and I couldn't hear them. It was Sunday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There was, Latin music playing in the background, blasting in the background. And I'm like, where are you? And, my dad made a joke and I just was like, what place? Where are you that is blasting Latin music, salsa music at 3 o'clock on a Sunday? Like they are having fun. They're having fun. She was a stay-at-home mom. She gave her whole life to us. She still does. She's still here twice a week helping me, but she still does. And she looks amazing. She looks like she
Yeah.
could be my sister. She had cancer when I was younger, and she
Mm.
totally just made a whole change to her diet and everything because she wanted to live to see us grow. And well, it was just me at the time. And I'm like, wow, can I just be like you when I'm almost 60?
Yeah.
Because holy crap, I feel
Yeah.
tired already. And she's out there like on Sunday afternoon salsaing it up. I don't
I
know
love
what they're
it.
doing.
Yeah, that confidence. That's amazing. I just wrote an article for March or April that is on, and your mom is the niche market, intimacy in our 50s and women. And it is, and it's the empty nest. They're falling back
Mhm,
in love with their significant
mhm,
other. And because of the confidence and the unrealistic, they don't have that expectation. I
mhm,
mean, they're living life the way that I think generations should have.
mhm.
So
And they
kudos to
didn't do
that.
that,
No,
when I was growing up. I mean,
nope.
it was rough and tough. Like, I'm surprised they're still married, but
Yeah,
here they are, and now they're alone. And now they can figure out if they even like each other,
yeah,
like, and
go
at
for
least
it.
they have that chance. But, it's crazy. Like, let me have that much fun, I mean, and no, I'm sure not every day is fun. Let me look like you and have that energy. She's just always on the go. Like,
Love it.
crap. I feel like I'm going to keel over now.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
all right, I could keep talking to you all day. So I'm just going to have to stop myself. But thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I've had so much fun.
Thank you. And I look forward to connecting with you again. Any other topics? I love it. So thank you, Nicolette. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks again, Felicity.